Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another game of Aeon's End. Today we're going up against Ageless Walker, who came in the New Age expansion. So we've set up the Nemesis deck as usual. We have the start of the Exiled pile here. And the market cards we're going to be playing with are Richwood Amber, Resonant Pearl, and Energized Rubidium. For Redix Bottled Vortex, Vim Dynamo, and then for spells Tethered Darts, Phoenix Flame, Disintegrating Scythe, and Radiance. So I'll just put them back in the market and then we can start. The two mages that we're using are one from the base game and one from the New Age. So the one from the base game we're using is Brama. And the one from the New Age expansion is Talix. So I'll just show you their mage boards. There's Talix. He's quite a very, very unique mage to be playing. And then Brama is from the base game. We have our Curse of Aging cards, which we can't actually get out of our hand. So every time these cycle around, we're going to suffer 1 damage. So that's an interesting challenge to play against. Talix is white, Brahma is green, so that's going to determine the draw, and the Nemesis is red. So I think with that we can get started. And the first turn is Talix. So he actually starts with 4 sparks in his hand, so I'm going to prep one of those, and then we can use this Furnace and we gain 1 ether, and we can discard up to 3 spells in hand and gain 1 ether for each spell discarded this way, and then we can place this on top of our deck. So I think what I will do here is I will discard 3 spells. Well, I'll play this, gain 1 ether, and then discard up to 3 spells, so I'll have 4 ether to spend in total. And I think what I will do is I will buy a Phoenix Flame, and then I can place this on top of my deck, which I will do. And we'll draw back up to 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is all we can do on this turn. So the next turn is the Nemesis, and we get Blind Enigma, health of 7, persistent effect. Any player suffers 1 damage. If the Nemesis tier is 2 or higher, that player suffers 2 additional damage. So getting rid of that will be quite important, given we have the Curse of Aging cards, which are going to hurt us as well. And the next turn then is Brahma, so I think I'm going to prep Buried Light, and then I have 4 crystals, and I think for these I will also buy a Phoenix Flame. Yeah, do that, and then we draw back up to 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know 3 of those will be crystals. And 2 sparks, and then the next turn is the Nemesis, so any player suffers 1 damage. That to Brahma, so go to 9, and then we get power to unleash. Any player discards 2 gems in hand, so we can't actually get rid of that either. So, and then the next turn is Talix, so I will cast this spark and deal 1 damage, so take that to 6. I will prep that, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will discard those, and then so that'll be 3, and I'll have 4 to spend then. So I think I will buy a Richwood Amber. Yeah, and I'm not going to put this on top of my deck, so I'll put that in there, I think. Although it might be better to. I'll put it in top. And we draw back into 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next turn is Brama. So we have, I will cast this, dealing 1 damage and gaining 1 ether. So we go to 5. I'll prep that. And then I have 3 plus the 1 from Buried Light. I'm going to open Breach 2. And I will prep that, discard those. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the end of the first round. And we go on then to the next. And we get the Nemesis. So I will give this to Talix, the damage from it, Blind Enigma. So he goes to 9. This goes to 1. And then we get Unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage and discards a card in hand. If that card is a gem, Greyfall suffers 2 damage. I'm sorry, I should have resolved this. So whenever it goes into my hand, I immediately suffer 1 damage. So I go to 8, discard it, and then draw another card. So any player suffers 1 damage. I think I will... and discards a card in hand. So first we have to unleash. Any player exiles a card in hand or on top of their discard pile. Sorry, this should have been resolved as well. So I will go to 8 and draw a card. So we can discard. So we have to exile. I think I will exile a Spark from for the Unleash effect, and then any player suffers 1 damage and discards a card in hand. I will 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, instead of discarding that to the Unleash, I'll discard this to the Unleash, and then I will suffer 1 damage here, going to 7, and discard a card in hand. It is not a gem, so Greybolt doesn't suffer 2 damage. So that's that. Next turn is Brama. So I will cast these 2 sparks, taking it to 3. I will prep Phoenix Flame, and I have 3 left here, so I will buy a Frischwood Amber, and I will place that. Because of its effect, I can place it on top of my deck when I gain it. So we draw back up to 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next turn is Talix. So I will cast this for 1, taking it to 2. And then I will... I will prep that, and then I will also... I'll play these for 2 ether to focus that, and I'll prep that. And I can place both of these on top of my deck, which I will. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next turn then is Talix again, and I'm going to cast these 2, which takes out this minion. And so we have, I will prep that, I will prep this, and then I play those for 2 ether each. And I'll discard that, which gets me actually no, I will play those 2 ether each, which opens that, and I'll prep that, and I'll just discard that, I think, and then I will place that on top of my deck, and I'll place that on my discard. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that is the Curse of Aging, so I go to 6 health and draw a card. So that's the end of my turn. And Brama is next. So I will cast this for 2 damage. So we'll take that to 78. I will prep that, and I have 2, 3, 4, 5, which I will use to gain an energized rubidium. And that's the end of that turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one of those is the curse card. So I go to 7 health and draw another card. And the last turn then has to be the Nemesis. So this is resolved. So we have an Unleash. So any player exiles a card in hand or the top card of their discard pile. And I think here I will... I'll exile a crystal. And then any player discards 2 gems in hand. So... Ooh. That's painful. I will discard those 2 crystals for Brama. And that's the end of that round. And we go on to the next. And we get the Nemesis. Oh. Actually, for the last turn, I forgot to draw a card for the Nemesis. So we have any player exiles a spell in hand or their discard pile. Gravehole suffers 2 damage. So I will exile that. And Gravehole goes to 28. And that's that. And then we have this Nemesis resolution is Enveloping Ooze. Gravehole suffers 2 damage. Any player discards the top card of their deck. Okay, so next turn is Brama. I'll cast that, which deals 1 damage. So it goes to 4, and then I'll prep those 2. And we draw back up to 5. 3, 4, 5. And the next turn then, it's the Nemesis. So Gravehole suffers 2 damage. Goes to 26. Any player discards the top card of their deck. I think I will discard the Spark. And then we get Power 3. The players collectively exile 2 cards in hand. So 3. And the next turn then goes to Talix. So I'll cast this for 2. Takes it to 2. Cast that for 1. Goes to 1. I will prep the Spark, and I can spend 3 here. So I think I will buy another Phoenix Flame. Yeah, let's do that. And I will put that on top of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course the curse card is there, so that takes me to 5, and I draw 1 more. Next is Talix again, so I will cast this for 1, which kills off the minion. Move that across. Do I want to cast that other one? So at the moment I could spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I will leave that where it is. And I'll discard these 3, which gains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll gain an energized rubidium with that, and I'll split these up. I think it's probably the best. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next turn has to be Brama, and I think cast 1 spark, which deals 1 damage, and I'll prep that. And then I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I will buy a disintegrating scythe for 7. Any ally may discard a card in hand. If they do, that player gains 1 charge. Do I want to discard a card? I think I won't. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that, and then we draw back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of those is the curse card, so we go to 6 and draw 1 more. And that's the end of this round. Ooh. And the next turn then is the Nemesis, so this goes to 2. And we get power 3, so to discard spend 7 ether. Unleash twice, exile a card from the most expensive supply pile. Grave Ball suffers 4 damage. That's quite a powerful power card there. Next is Brama. So I think I will cast this, which deals 2 damage. 75. I'll cast this to do 1 more. I'll prep those 2. And I have 3 ether here, which I will use. I think I will spend 2 on a charge. And then we go on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next turn goes to Talix, so we will cast this for 1, so 73. I'll prep those 2. Actually no, I won't prep that spark. I will prep this Phoenix Flame instead. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I will buy a Vim Dynamo. That could be important for healing. So that gets placed there, and then do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to put this on top of my deck. So we draw back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of those is the curse. So we go to 4 and draw 1 more. And then the next turn goes to the Nemesis. So this goes to 1. 1. This goes to 2. And we get Portal Guardian. Unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage. And that's a power or health abate. So we put that on there. And then we have Brama. So I will cast these 2. So doing 1 damage plus 1 ether for Buried Light. So we go to 7. Where is it? 7. And then we do 1 damage, taking it to 6. So we have, I'll prep that. And then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus the 1 from Buried Light. So I think I'll spend 7 to take this out. And then any ally may discard a card in hand. If they do, any player gains 1 charge. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of those is the Curse of Aging card. So we go to 5 and we gain 1 crystal. And the last turn has to be then Talix. So we will cast these 2 for 2 damage each. So that goes to 4 and then 2. I will prep that and that. And then I have 1, 2, 3 here. And I think I will... these cards, they're so expensive. Yeah. So I have 3. So 1. I'll discard those 2. So I get 3, and I'll use that to buy a charge, I think. Actually, no, I won't. I will buy a Freshwood Amber for 3, put that on top of my deck, and then that on top of, or yeah, because I can, when I gain it, I can put it on top of my deck, and then put this on top of my deck as well. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the end of that round. Next turn is Talix. So we will cast these 2 to take out that minion. Here we have... I'll prep that. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I will... I'm going to buy a Disintegrating Scythe for 7. An Energized Rubidium, any ally may discard a card in hand, and if they do, gain 1 charge. I think I'll discard that crystal. Although exile 2, no, I won't. I want to keep that for the moment. So yeah, we'll finish this. I will put this back on top of my deck. Put that there, and then those 2 there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what that is, the curse card. So we will go to 3 and draw 1 more. So we really need to get the health. Next is Brama. So we cast this for 8. Take that down to 65. And suffer 1 damage. Instead of discarding this, destroy it or place it on top of any player's discard pile. So I'll suffer 1, I'll go to 4. I will, instead of discarding it, destroy it or place it on top of any player's discard pile. I'll place it there. Prep those 2, and then I have 3 here. I'm going to just buy another charge, I think. We really need health here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn then, it's the Nemesis, so this goes off. The players collectively exile 2 cards in hand. I think I will 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll exile a Spark from Brama, and I will exile a Spark from Talix. And we get any player discards 3 cards in hand and suffers 2 damage. Oh no. So I'm gonna discard, I think, 1, 2, I think I'm gonna have to discard these and go to 1 damage, or one life. Yeah, I think that's what I'll have to do. Next is Brama. So we will cast that for 2. It goes to 63. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will prep that. And then I have 7 here, which I'm going to use to buy 3 more charges and then spend. That fully charges me. And I'll spend those charges. Any player gains 4 life. I'll take Talix back up to 5. And yeah, that's all I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of those is the curse card, so we go to 3. 3, and draw 1 more. And then the next turn is, that should be discarded. Next turn is Talix, so I will destroy this, and any player gains 2 life and 1 charge. So I'll take Brama up to 5 and give her 1 charge, and then discard that. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last turn has to be then the Nemesis. And we get unleash twice. Any player suffers 1 damage and places their most expensive card in hand on top of their deck. So unleash twice. Any player exiles a card in hand or on top of their discard pile. Oh, that should be destroyed, by the way. So we can. I think I will exile 2 of these for the unleash twice effect. And then any player suffers 1 damage and places their most expensive card in hand on top of their deck. So we're going to be losing a Phoenix Flame either way. I think I will suffer 1 damage here and put the Phoenix Flame on top of his deck. So that's that, and that is all for this round. Next turn then, it's Brama. So I will cast these 2 damage and 1 ether from the Buried Light. So 61. Prep that. Now we've 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll buy 2 more charges. Yeah. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of those is the Curse of Aging. So we go to 4 and draw 1 more. And then the next turn is Nemesis. And we get to discard 4 cards in hand, power 1, unleash twice, Greybolt suffers 3 damage. That could go off immediately. And Talix, so I will cast that, dealing 1 damage. Unfortunately, he can't discard 4 cards in hand because he only has 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next turn then, it's the Nemesis. So unleash twice, Greybolt suffers 3 damage. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So I will exile that. And I will exile I think I will exile the Furnaceum as well. Actually, no, I can't. I won't do that. I'll exile the Buried Light from Brama. So that's unleash twice. Greybolt suffers 3 damage, so we go to 23. And then the Nemesis card is a power 3. The players collectively exile 2 cards in hand or discard pile that costs 2 ether or more. So power 3. And then we get Brama. So I will cast this for 2, which goes to 58. And I have have 3, 4, 5, 6 here. I will spend 4 on 2 charges, and that fully charges me up, and I get to, I'll spend those to increase Brama to 8, or no, sorry, I won't. I'll increase Talix to 8, because I know he has the disintegrating scythe in hand. And then I will spend 2 more on another charge. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is the curse card. So we go to 3, and we draw another card. And the next turn then has to be Talix. So I will cast these 2 for 2 damage. 6. I'll prep these 2, and then I have 3, 4, 5, 6. So not enough to get another high value spell, unfortunately. 3, 4, 5. Actually, I won't cast this. I will discard it, which gets me another ether, which gets me to 7. I think I will. I'll buy another disintegrating scythe, I think. Yeah. And then let me just see how many spells we have coming up here. No, I won't. I'll discard them all here. And we draw up to 5. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of those, of course, is this, which takes us to 7, and we draw 1 more. And the next turn then is Brama. So I'll prep that, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just use that to spend to buy 2 charges. Although, actually no, I won't. I will buy that for 1. And then I'll buy a Phoenix Flame as well for 1. Or for 3, for the remaining 3. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have Curse of Aging, which takes us to 2, so that's quite a concern. And we go to get 1 more. And then the next goes to the Nemesis, so that goes to 2. And we get Timeless Serpent, 12 health. Any player exiles 1 card in hand. I will exile this Spark, I think. 3. Yeah. Any player discards their most expensive card in hand is a persistent effect. So that's a 12. Yeah. Next is Talix. So I'll cast this for 8 and place it in Brama's discard. And I think I will. That would go to 4. I will deal that to the Nemesis. I'll prep that, and then I have 3 ether here, which I will use to buy a charge. And sorry, for the disintegrating scythe, I suffer 1 damage. So it goes to 6. I'll place that there, and then that there, and we draw back up to 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Next is the Nemesis, so that goes to 1. Any player discards their most expensive card in hand. So the most expensive card in hand for Brama is the Energized Rubidium, and for it's disintegrating scythe for, so I think I'm going to discard the energized rubidium. Next is Talix. So I'll cast this for another 8. So that goes to 38. It goes to 5. I'm sorry, that goes into Brama's hand. I'll cast this for 2. Which goes 36. And I can lose a charge to deal another 2 damage. I think I will. I'll lose a charge, which deals another 2. So 34. I'll prep that. I'll prep that, and then I have 1, 2, 3 to spend, and I'll use that to buy a charge. Put that on top of my deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's the curse card, so we go to 4 health and draw 1 more. And then the last turn is Brama. So I will cast that and deal 2 damage. Prep that and that. And I have 3 ether here, which I'll use to buy a charge. So Brama's not looking good health-wise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And of course that's the curse card, so we go to 1 health and draw the last. So hopefully we can have another turn and hopefully get her health back up. Next turn it's Brama. So we will cast that for 2. So it goes to 30. I'll cast this for 1. So 29. Prep that, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1 from the buried light. Darn. So we can only buy 2 charges here, which doesn't quite charge us up, so we could very well go exhausted here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next is the Nemesis. So this resolves the players that collectively exile 2 cards in hand or discard file that cost 2 ether or more. So I don't think I want to exile any of those. This is painful. So I think I will exile these 2. Although, what's in Brama's discard? It's a Phoenix Flame, I would have to. I won't. I will exile these 2. So that resolves that. Any player discards their most expensive card in hand. Or no, I can't. I think I'll discard this. And then we get Needle Maw. Grey Pulse suffers 2 damage. It's a persistent effect. So 11. Next is Brama. Oh, if we cast that Disintegrating Scythe, she's going to go exhausted. I won't. That hurts. I think I will. I'm going to cast it, doing 8 damage. I'm going to have to try and race this to the finish line. Suffer 1 damage, which exhausts her. So when a nemesis or a mage becomes exhausted, we unleash twice. Oh, no, I can't do that. So I'll go back up to 29. And leave her at 1 for the time being. I'm going to prep that. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, so I'll buy one charge for 2, which fully charges me up. I'm going to spend those to go back up to 5 health. so that's 2 spent. So I had 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to buy another 2 with the remaining 4. And that's that turn. So we still have the Phoenix Flame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is the Curse of Aging card. So we go to 4 health, and we draw 1 more. And the next then is Talix. So I'll cast this for 8 damage, which goes to 21. And then I will cast this. Oh, I have to do 1 damage, which takes me to 3. And then I'll cast this for 2. So go to 19. And I will lose 1 charge to deal an additional 2 damage. So it goes to 17. And then I have 2 to spend, and I'll spend that on a charge. I'll put that on my deck. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I will put both on top of my deck to go to 5. Yeah, let's do that. And then we have the Nemesis. So any player discards their most expensive card in hand. Ooh. Which one do I want to discard? I think I'll discard one of the Phoenix Flames from Brama's hand. Gravehole suffers 2 damage, goes to 21, and we get Unleash 3 times, or Gravehole suffers 6 damage, or any player suffers 5 damage. So I think for this I will Unleash 3 times. Well, that would be 1, 2, 3. I think I will take the damage to Gravehold, so good to take it to 15. Yeah. And then the last turn has to be Talix. So I will prep a Phoenix Flame and a Spark, and I have 1, 2, 3. So I will buy 1 charge with that. And then do I want to... Yeah, I'll put these on top of my deck, so we draw back up to 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So his deck is very thin now. It's a real race to the finish line here. Curse of Aging deals 1 damage, and I draw 1 more. And that is the end of that round. So we move on, and the next turn goes to Talix. So I will deal 2, taking it to 15. I will lose a charge to deal 2 more, taking it to 13. I will cast that for 1, taking it to 12. I'll prep that and that, and then I have 3, 4, 5. And I'll just buy 2 charges with that. Put them on my top of my deck, discard that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we go to 1 because of this curse card, and draw another. So if Brama can go next, then we will win. Next it's Brama. So yes, we cast this for 8, taking that to 4. And then I suffer 1 damage, which goes to 3. I will cast this for another 8, which goes to 0, and that is a win for the allies. So yeah, that was a close finish in the end. As you can see, like, it's very difficult to beat this Nemesis, I feel, without having some kind of healing ability. So we got a good boost from Vim Dynamo at one stage, but Brama really saved the day with her ability and getting. She had a couple of quite high value gems, so that was key in terms of being able to charge up often enough. And yeah, just focusing on those. I think we had 3 disintegrating scythes cycling back and forward, and they deal just such a good amount of damage. And pairing that with the healing ability, it was quite useful in the end. I decided just to focus on damaging the nemesis there in the mid game, rather than spending damage on the minions. And yeah, you can really getting a few of these cast really eats into the nemesis health. I felt like the market wasn't overly favourable in terms of the spells we had. 7 and 8 are quite awkward in terms of getting enough ether together to be able to buy one of those while still having enough ether to maybe buy or pay off discarding and discard a power card. So yeah, it could have been a more favourable in terms of the spells that we had. Like maybe a 5 cost spell would have been better than, I don't know, maybe the 8 cost one, or yeah, a 5 or 6 cost spell would have been ideal. But yeah, that was an interesting game. Let me know any thoughts or comments you have. I hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, I think I'll call it a day there for today, and I'll see you again next time.